On an all-new Dr. Phil, her ex entered her mom's home.
I saw a shotgun. I said, "Why are you doing this?" I thought, okay, I'm dead.
He went to prison, but his family,
his mother, is petitioning for grandparent rights.
Isn't going anywhere.
I've never got an apology from her. She didn't do it. You're not normal.
How selfish are you picking a fight with her when your mother's trying to get access back to her grandson?
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Well, Anita says she will never forget the terrifying day her former son-in-law, Dylan, entered her home through an unlocked door with a loaded shotgun in hand, with his finger on the trigger, looking for her daughter, Alexa, and her baby grandson. Anita said it was the most frightening day of her entire life. It ended in a dramatic police chase. Take a look.
It was 2:00 in the afternoon. It was the sound of the dog gate that alerted me. I noticed someone coming around the corner, and it was Dylan. I saw a shotgun in his hand with his finger on the trigger.
My mom immediately knew that something wasn't right.
I got into his face and said, "What, Dylan?" There was a blank look in his eye the whole time. It's like he wasn't there.
I totally recognized that it was a dangerous situation.
I said, "Dylan, go put the gun away." And he said no. And then Dylan asked where my husband was. And I responded, "Why?" And he said, "Because I want to talk to all of you, and then you're going to watch me kill myself." I said, "That's not going to happen today, Dylan." And then Alexa came around the corner. The baby started crying, and Alexa screamed, "Oh my gosh, he has a gun." And then Dylan pushed her.
My mother 100% protected my son and I with her life.
I picked up my grandson, who was crying, and I said to Dylan, "We loved you. Why are you doing this?" And he said, "Well, she cheated on me." I was looking straight in his eyes the whole time, but I was also looking at that gun. I got him out the front door somehow, and I'm poking him with my fingernail in his chest. And I said, "Quit doing this." Then he cocked the gun. I thought, okay, I'm dead. I'm ready to go. At least I know my daughter's safe and my grandson is safe. And then he ran down the stairs and he got into his truck and he took off.
The cops were already on their way.
Dylan drove up here, drove to the end of this cul-de-sac and parked his truck and started smoking a cigarette. There were multiple police cars that confronted him.
They shot 14 times from what I remember, and one cop hit him.
One of them caught him in his shoulder and he slumped down.
He was arrested and taken to the hospital.
Well, Dylan was ultimately sentenced to 9 years in prison for numerous charges, including assault with a deadly weapon, burglary, evading police, and child endangerment. When Dylan went to prison, his mom, Sherry, was allowed to see her grandson, but now she claims Alexa has completely cut her off. Why? Because according to Alexa, Sherry refuses to accept her son's responsibility in the gun incident. Sherry is ready to take Alexa to court to petition for grandparents' rights. Take a look.
Dylan's mom, Sherry, made it seem that it was all my fault that Dylan had been shot. Like I pushed him over the edge.
3 months ago, Alexa severed my grandson's relationship with Dylan's side of the family.
I don't want my son to be around Sherry because I feel like she's going to sabotage a relationship between my son and I. Sherry is on a whole different page for me when it comes to parenting. She's told my son that his dad lives in the mountains and he has a house I have told my son that his dad is in big boy timeout. I keep it short and simple so he doesn't get confused.
I do blame the family for what Dylan did. They knew that Dylan had problems. I think that Sherry is an enabler.
He is the one who decided to come to my mother's house with a loaded shotgun and threaten my son's life, my mother's life, and my life.
Sherry applied for grandparent rights. We will see how it goes. If I had my way, I would have nothing to do with these people.
Well, Anita, Alexa, I'm glad to meet both of you. I'm glad you're here. Anita, you full well believed you were going to die that day, true?
Yes, I did. But I was okay with it.
You were okay with it because you had drawn him away from your daughter and your grandson?
Yes.
And what was going through your head when you realized that he was in your home with a weapon?
Honestly, I thought that he was going to possibly kill my ex-boyfriend at the time, shoot me, and then shoot himself because I left him for somebody else.
Right. Did you see anything like this coming?
I didn't see anything coming with Dylan, but my mother definitely thought something was going to happen.
His mother claims that you caused him to snap, that the breakup, your conduct, caused him to snap. What do you say to that?
I say absolutely not. Dylan is his own individual person. Dylan chose to do what he did. He had 2 hours as he was driving to think about what he was doing, and he still chose to do what he did.
Yeah. So you're saying this wasn't an impulse, passion. This was premeditated, and that he had time to cool off. He had time to think. He had to be clear-headed enough to navigate traffic, get around, get there, and then he got in the house in a very stealthy way, correct?
Yeah, he walked up the stairs like he was just there. Hey guys, what's up? With a loaded shotgun in his hand and his finger was on the trigger.
You say that Sherry blames the incident on everybody but her son. So what do you mean by that? How is it not his responsibility what he did?
She thinks I don't know, maybe because of my actions, that I'm the reason that he snapped in the first place.
Yeah.
However, he's been like that for his whole life, from the time I've known him.
All right. And how long had you known him?
Since we met in 7th grade, so about 2006, but we got to know each other more in high school, so I'd say about 2010.
All right. So you had known him a long time.
Before.
Was he volatile like this all along? Would he go off? Would he have rage problems? Would he do the kind of things that would be antecedent to this, that would lead up to this kind of thing?
We definitely, when we fought, there was one time I was pregnant and we got into a fight and he punched 2 holes in the wall and he tore the door off her, the hinges.
You weren't in favor of this union from the beginning, right?
Never. Absolutely not. I saw the writing on the wall.
Did you know when they got married?
No.
Why did you keep that from your mother?
I actually kept it from everyone.
Why?
We went and got married in Tahoe. I didn't tell anyone. I was at that point, I was 19 and I was naive.
And then when you got pregnant, you didn't know that either.
No, I did not.
Why not?
I didn't tell anyone. I was scared because I knew her reaction wasn't going to be good.
I always told her, if something happens, all you have to do is call me and say, I'm coming home. Because you know you can come home anytime. And she did do that.
Now, Sherry, his mother, is petitioning for grandparent rights.
Correct. Yeah.
And this conversation we're having here comes at a crucial time because I'm hoping that we can find some way to avoid the government getting involved in your family life here.
Yes.
You know, coming up, Alexa's former mother-in-law says she is furious. She hasn't seen her grandson for months, and Alexa is being brainwashed by Anita to keep her out of the picture. Well, we're going to meet her. We're going to talk about all of this when we come back.
Alexa knows she pushed Dylan over the edge. She knows she abused him mentally and physically. I said, you know, all this is your fault. And she said, you'll never see my grandson again, and hung up on me.
And later,
You weren't even involved with your daughter. You didn't like your daughter. So don't even try to lie either. That was an incident from Dr. Phil. You should be honest. She's not normal.
It enrages me that Sherry blames Alexa for her son, Dylan, coming into our home with a loaded shotgun with enough bullets to kill all of us. I think it's disgusting. I definitely think that this family should back off.
Alexa's mother-in-law, Sherry, says she tried to be civil, but Anita and Alexa aren't looking out for her grandson's needs, and now she has no choice but to take them to court.
Alexa cut me out of my grandson's life because I told her I thought she was to blame for what happened to Dylan. Today is my grandson's 5th birthday. This is the first time he hasn't been with us on his birthday. I want him to know I didn't forget about you. She knows she pushed Dylan over the edge. She knows she abused him mentally and physically. I said, you know, all this is your fault. And she said, you'll never see my grandson again, and hung up on me. That was the last time I talked to her. I was angry. But I was tired of walking on eggshells with her. I have seen signs that Alexa had been abusive to my grandson, and I've seen bruises on him. Who hurt you right there? Who did that?
Mama.
Why?
Because Mama hurt me.
I noticed a bruise on his cheekbone right here. And I said, did Mommy do that? And he said, yes, Mommy hurt me.
Mama's snacking under my face.
She smacked you in the face?
Yeah.
Dylan spiraled out of control when Alexa cheated on him. Dylan kicked our bedroom door open, and then we had the shotgun by the bed and left with it. When Dylan got arrested, he was charged for trying to kill a police officer. And I said, what? He wasn't trying to kill a police officer. There's no way. He only had one leg out of the truck. He did not brandish a weapon. My son got 8 years in prison. I think his sentence was really unfair. I think I'm being punished for what my son did, and I don't think it's fair.
Okay, Sherry, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for having me.
I want to make it clear, you didn't show up at that house with a shotgun.
No.
No matter what the intent may or may not have been, you weren't the one that did that. So
exactly.
I'm not trying to paint you with that brush. But do you acknowledge that clear boundaries were crossed here?
Yes.
By your son when he came in that house?
Yes.
Uninvited?
Yes.
And he did have a loaded weapon.
Yes.
But you think that it's Alexa's fault that your son is in prison, right?
Yeah, well, it's partly her fault, not completely. He has to take responsibility. I think it's her fault how she mentally and physically abused him over the years. Mm-hmm. She said she doesn't. She says her, you know, her mom, you guys are liars. You lied about a lot of things just now. A lot of things. And it ain't right, Lex, and you know it.
Okay.
I actually did not lie, but thank you, Sherry.
Yeah, you did.
Because you're a pathological liar,
Okay.
just like your son.
Just
Goodbye.
like your son. And
Sit
that's why
down.
he's in prison, Sherry. Because
That's why
of
he's
you,
in prison. Do you know how many
because you're
felonies
He's in prison because
How many
you made him
felonies does he
depressed.
have? How many felonies does he
One.
have? One?
Yes.
Can you pull that up, please? We need to
It
pull this
doesn't
up so
matter.
she can see that he has 4 felonies
I'm
and
not on trial.
misdemeanor.
And child endangerment.
My poor son's in prison. Oh my
Child
God, I'm so
endangerment, that's
there.
right. Why do you beat your daughter all the time?
Oh,
She does not
yes, I
beat my
beat my daughter
daughter.
all the
Okay,
time.
well,
Sure.
she
My
came to the
daughter
house.
doesn't even live in my house.
And she beats your grandson, and that's
I
okay
do
with you
not
too.
beat
Oh,
my
no,
son.
he does. She
Okay.
did. She would. I
Okay.
would turn her in
Yeah,
because
right.
I'm a mother who practices tough love. That's
Okay,
why
sure
my
you do.
children aren't in
That's why
prison.
your daughter told me all over the years
That's-
how crazy you are and how you beat her.
Well, thank God I'm crazy because I had to deal with your son that day.
Even
Stop.
there.
Okay,
Be
listen,
quiet.
I let everybody
you.
vent here for a
It's okay.
second. I let everybody vent here for a second.
I'm here for, I want my grandson around us.
I've been doing this for 45 years. And I'm trained in forensic psychology. And I have worked hostage situations. I've been in this very scenario. And I'm telling you, when you walk in there in an emotionally charged situation with 5 shots in a shotgun and things start to melt down and you start to get confused, people start to die.
Right.
And I can show you headline after headline after headline after headline where estranged couples wind up in murder-suicide situations where the children are killed, the spouse is killed, and then suicide. That woman put herself in front of that barrel of that shotgun and walked him out that front door.
I heard a different story.
Well,
Alexa pushed him out.
Well,
No, Alexa did not
That's what
push
she
him
said.
out.
That's
No,
what
she did not.
That's what she told
well,
me.
let's
No,
put it this
she
way.
did not
Let's
say
put it
that.
this way.
all
Somebody
in the
got him
police
out that
report,
front
Jerry.
door. But for the actions of these people in that house that day, your grandson might be dead. And
Yeah, I know.
you have to acknowledge that. And
Thank God that didn't happen because I wouldn't be able to live with myself either.
coming up, Sherry's
I believe
daughter,
that too.
Dina,
Yeah, I do.
says her former sister-in-law, Alexa, was fine with her mom looking after her grandson. So what changed? Well, that's a good question. We'll talk about that next.
When the gun incident happened, Anita reported that Dylan was there to harm them. I don't think that that was true. I think Anita saw an opportunity to get Dylan out of their lives, and she took it.
And later,
I heard with my own ears what he just said, and I'm sick.
His dad's a great father.
you guys need to so grow up. I am telling you.
I think Anita and Alexa are evil people, and I don't trust either one of them around my grandson, to tell you the truth, but there's nothing I could do about it.
I have mentioned to Alexa in the past that it would be best if she just severed her ties with that family because I think that they're evil, and that's just my opinion. Sherry only thinks that her son is the victim, and that's it. Nobody else.
Sherry's daughter, Dina, agrees with her mom that her nephew is being dragged into the middle of this adult dispute.
Dylan and Alexa rushed into marriage. There were signs that Alexa was beating Dylan. I told Dylan after finding out that she does get physical, divorce her before she ends up pregnant. I knew it wasn't going to be a stable environment to raise a child. When the gun incident happened, Anita reported that Dylan was there to harm them. I don't think that that was true. I think Anita saw an opportunity to get Dylan out of their lives, and she took it. She called the police and said that Dylan was threatening them. They made the police approach aggressively. Dylan did not shoot his gun. He never pointed his gun at them either. But I thought he was going to try suicide by cop. It's been about 4 months since I've seen my 5-year-old nephew. Alexa uses my nephew as a pawn. We're unfairly punished for the actions of my brother and have been off and on since it occurred.
Well, Dina, thank you for joining us. You say that it's wrong that Anita and Alexa are keeping your nephew from your side of the family. Tell me why you think that's happening.
Okay, first of all, let me address that not only is it embarrassing that you're lying about everything that you're saying.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. You weren't even involved with your daughter. You didn't like your daughter.
Right.
It was like
I
a year
used to
ago
go
that I
down
went
there.
and got my nephew from her. She had scratch marks all over her body, and she told my mom it's because you attacked her. Don't, for real?
Okay. Yeah. And
Alexa, don't even try to lie either.
That
Because
was
if you
an
want help
incident-
from
hold
Dr.
on.
Phil, you should be honest.
That was an incident that happened in September of 2015.
No, it wasn't.
Because
No,
I have the photos. I have the photos.
This year.
Okay, it wasn't.
Okay, but
it
still,
wasn't-
you're an adult.
It wasn't
You're an
this
adult getting
year.
attacked by your mother who claims she has your back.
That was 3 years
She's
ago.
over here claiming
That
she's
was-
innocent and she's not this crazy broad.
There was an
She's
incident.
not normal.
Said-
You're not.
I don't.
yeah.
I
Okay,
don't.
hold on.
But
Listen.
you are.
Okay,
I am.
let's-
I'm the most
All
normal
right,
child
Alexa.
out of my mom's family.
I'm trying to. I know.
Thank God you are.
Stop.
You guys stop.
Alexa
please.
has the
Can we
floor
just
for a
all
minute.
just like speak
Okay,
one at
go
a
ahead.
time?
Yeah, I know I know how to
Dead
run
ass
this. Thank you.
serious.
You have the floor. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
There was an incident that happened. I think it was like June, July. I don't remember honestly. My son had said, "I don't like you." It upset her. She has things
He's
from the
4.
past.
He's
Yes.
4 years old, people.
Can you let her speak, please? It's her turn.
and it had upset her, yes. So
she's just making you look like a lunatic. Speak, please.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, right.
Thank you.
Uh-huh, yes.
So, anyhow.
You guys thought you were going to come out here and play us.
Can you please be quiet?
No.
Oh, my God.
No.
She doesn't shut up.
Okay.
I don't like it.
All right, stop. Now, listen, let me tell you guys, I'm all about unification of families, not about fragmentation of families. But if you guys want to come in here and turn this into a yell fest and just totally disrespect the process, then you're going to derail all of that. Why did you cut off the access to your son?
My son had come home and told me that his dad lives in the mountains and he has a house and he wanted to go see him. And I said, well, baby, he's in big boy timeout. That's what I've always told him. I would never say like, oh, he's in jail, he's in prison, say anything bad about him. I just say, hey, he's in big boy timeout. He needs to be a big boy. Once he's out, then you guys are welcome to have a relationship and see each other. And he just says, okay. I keep it short and simple. I've gotten that advice from my therapist.
And you've had a different strategy, a different story.
Right.
All right. Coming up, Sherry says she's seen bruises on her grandson and she's suspicious of Alexa. We're going to find out if these are legitimate concerns or if we're starting to get hypersensitive and sling allegations, which is a very dangerous thing to do in this situation. We'll be right back.
My nephew is saying that he's getting hit in his face.
He fell out of a shopping cart.
You told us that too, but
yes, I was there.
Closed captioning provided by
Alexa was a party girl. She likes to drink a lot when she's out. I have video that somebody sent me of her being obnoxious, wild, cussing, and I'm just wondering what's going on with my grandson. Where is he when she's partying all the time? I mean, what kind of mother does that?
Here's my question for you. Are you legitimately concerned for the well-being of your grandson being raised by his biological mother to the point that you fear for his safety and therefore you think it's actionable and he should be removed from that home?
I thought about it.
If you do think that and you don't report it, then that's negligence on your part,
right?
As a grandparent. If you don't think it and you're just using it as ammunition to try and fortify your position and weaken hers, that is very easy to determine, and you can wind up not only having your rights limited, but terminated.
Wait, we were never going to accuse her of being any type of thing in court.
She just did on videotape on national television.
We have reason to believe that you possibly do because that's what you were taught from your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As my nephew got older, we were going to, if it was a physical situation and he's old enough to be literally saying, my mom hits me, my mom hurts me, then yeah, we're going to call authorities. But he's little.
Well,
we don't
let's
want to
take
just
a look
assume
at
these
how
things and
Sherry
take them away
tries
from her.
to investigate her grandson's bruise.
How'd you get the boo-boo on your face?
Because I got hurt.
How'd you get hurt?
No. I don't know.
How did it happen?
Let's see.
Who hurt you right there? Who did that?
Mama.
Why?
Because Mama hurt me.
That's not nice. I don't want Mama hurting you.
Mama snacking under my face.
She smacked you in the face?
Yeah.
You don't let Mama do that. You tell your grandma and you tell Nana, okay?
Okay.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I protect you, okay?
Okay.
Give me kisses. I love you.
I love you.
I guarantee you, if Alexa, and I'll tell both of you right now, if either one of my children ever beat their children, I would be the first person, the very first person to turn them in.
Sure. So why do you do it to your own then?
She doesn't even live in my house.
Because you physically attacked her all the time. You guys always argued. I wouldn't live in your house either.
You know when we were arguing? After this whole incident happened, and Alexa was extremely confused.
My nephew is saying that he's getting hit in his face.
He fell out of a shopping cart.
He did fall out of the shopping cart.
You told us that too, but you didn't believe it.
I was there.
I
was there.
You said you had your back turned and you really didn't know.
I was there when it happened.
Because she is physical with her adult daughter.
Yes.
This is what she's
all the
taught.
time.
Who knows
yes.
how her childhood was? What I did hear one time, it was last Christmas. My nephew slapped her in her face, which he did a lot, and she would laugh in front of us like, oh, it's so funny. She put him in a timeout and she asked him, why did you hit Mom in the face? And he said, because you hit me in mine. And she manipulated his words like I didn't hear what he said. And she said, no, you can't just hit me because you want to. And I was disgusted. And I went in the kitchen and I told my mom. She just manipulated what I heard with my own ears, what he just said, and I'm sick. I don't know what to do. But he's a little boy. I don't want to take him away from his mom.
And you'll never will.
I don't want to.
And
I need her to get
will.
it together so she can be a good mother because he doesn't have his dad.
Because his dad's a great father.
Look, if I hear another sarcastic, smart-ass remark, I'm telling you, you guys need to so grow up. I am telling you. Look, coming up, Sherry says that she didn't want to get the courts involved, but she's already tried being civil. When we come back, I'm going to talk about what I think needs to happen, and it's going to be in the way of a warning. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by
Alexa's trying to change my nephew's last name to whatever hers is at the moment. She's trying to take Dylan's last name away from my nephew. It's disgusting. You already don't let him see him. Then you're gonna try to take away his last name? It's vindictive, it's disrespectful. This is another example of her putting my nephew in the middle of adult issues.
Now, I want to say to the four of you that there's a child in the middle here, and whatever transgressions the four of you do, the child picks up the tab for that. The child pays the price for that. Mm-hmm. And there are some things that I say with great confidence, and what happens in the litigation arena is one of those things I say with great confidence, because that's what I've spent most of my professional career doing. I know the courthouse, I know the litigation arena, and I know judges, and I know family court judges. And this side has enough vulnerability in the history of what's going on that you are vulnerable to analysis and having your inventory taken in a way that you won't like. This side of the family comes into the situation with a huge bias against you before you start because of Dylan's actions and because you are telling a different story than the biological mother of this child. Whether you like it or whether you don't, the biological parent controls the situation. If the biological parent says, big boy timeout, and that's the story, then grandparents have to adhere to that story. If they are not consistent with the biological parent's reasonable and therapeutically supported approach, then you clearly are in violation with a therapeutically supported parenting plan, and you will be turned away. Just that simple. It's not sorted. It's not tiny.
I'm
It's
all
not
with her,
maybe.
the way she, you know, time out. That's fine. She didn't like what I said. That she said, you don't need to tell my son Daddy's at work. I'm not going to tell a 4-year-old Daddy's in prison. He's 4 years old.
Sherry, don't talk about it at all. Just, I know he's your son, and I understand you love him.
He asked me.
No,
he asked
but
me.
he's never
Where's
asked
my daddy?
me. He's never asked me.
Why? He's probably scared of you.
To do with his dad, though,
I'm
because
sorry?
you weren't taking him to see his dad. So why would he ask you?
I don't know, but I don't talk about
But you know,
it.
it's not for you to give her advice on what she should do or not do because you don't know what she should do or not do.
But may I say something? I don't want her to say that he's at work because he's not at work. Say
He's
big boy.
working.
No, okay, I understand that he's in the fire camp, but that's not a real job. He's doing a job because he's in prison and he has to.
He's working.
He is in big boy timeout. You can't say he's at work because that's not a job. He's not a correctional officer, Sherry.
Okay, but wait.
He is in
Big
prison.
boy timeout. He's going to start thinking, okay, well, I should do things to be in timeout too, because that's what my dad's doing.
I've never got an apology from her.
I tried to.
It's not her job. You need to let it go.
Oh, do I need to let it go?
Under California law, to give grandparent reasonable visitation with a grandchild, the court has to find a pre-existing relationship between grandparent and grandchild that has engendered a bond where visitation is in the best interest of the grandchild. Now, you need to be concerned about the second part of that sentence where it is in the best interest of the grandchild. If you are not being consistent with a therapeutically supported, has been to a therapist and the decision has been made, this is the story to be told, and you are not consistent with that, then you are creating confusion on the part of the child, and the court will determine that that is not in the best interest of the child, and you are out on point one.
My mom didn't argue with her about not saying that. My mom argued with her because she said, my son's not a bad person, and she said, yes, he is. He is a bad person. My mom said, no, he's not. That's when she said, you'll never see your grandson again.
I did.
It wasn't because my mom was arguing with her, I'm not going to say that. She was saying, he's not a bad person, though. And she didn't like that. That's where the argument came from. She's not saying that she won't say what Alexa wants to say. If a therapist says that's what you should say, then okay.
Number two, balance the visitation with parents' rights to make decisions. Parents' rights to make decisions about their child. Now, if you put the child's interest ahead of your own, and you have a therapist, they will tell you that you should work to find a way to involve these people in your son's life.
Yes, that's
And
true.
if they're not telling you that, then you need to find somebody that is. Because any therapist that is worth their salt should be telling you that you should be working to find a strategy, find a reason, find a way to involve these people in your son's life. And you're going to have to come up with a set of talking points that you consistently share with the child, and then you're going to have the emotional integrity to be consistent with that. And if you're not, it will become vividly transparent in a short period of time, and if you violate that, then you will forfeit your rights to be with that child. You don't need to go to court. You don't need to get the government invited here. What you need to do is sit down with a family therapist that will come up with, here are the parameters, here's how this child should be dealt with in this regard, and come up with a plan that everybody can be comfortable with, excited about, and embrace. And listen, these two did not want Dylan to do what he did. It broke their hearts. For the rest of their life, it will break their hearts. You didn't want him to do.
I've never got an apology from her.
I tried to do it at court, and you totally ignored me. Don't you remember that day?
No,
Okay.
you never apologized.
I tried to.
It's not her job. She didn't do it. It's not my job either, but I apologize to you. My mom doesn't have to do anything. She's not Dylan. You need to let it go.
Do I need to let it go? Really? Oh,
We'll be
sure.
right
I
back.
need to let it go. You do.
Closed captioning provided by... Well, I'm here talking to myself. Anita, Alexa, Sherry, and Dina are here
Yeah.
talking to each other. You make these declarations that you don't even think he went in the house. You don't have the first clue about what happened.
I don't, but I spoke
Okay,
to
then
her
don't make
afterward.
allegations that you can't support. We're here supposedly to get your mother to have access back to her grandchild.
Yeah.
And you're picking a fight with her? You're picking a fight with her? How selfish are you?
I'm not selfish. I'm
Oh,
sticking
hell,
up for
you're
what
not.
went
You're
on.
here picking
I
a fight
spoke
with
to
her
Alexa
when your
afterward. That's
mother's
what she
trying to
told
get
me.
access back to her grandson, and you want to run your agenda picking a fight with her.
I'm not picking a fight. I'm sticking up for what she's talking about.
You don't know the first thing about what happened. So how do you know?
I wasn't there, but I spoke to her afterward, and I'm going off of what she said
Well,
to me.
you know what? She was there, and she was there. You weren't there.
I
Go
can
ahead.
go.
You got the floor. Go ahead.
I can leave.
No, do whatever you want to do.
I'd rather get to see my nephew.
Well, then stop talking. Because I'm sure trying to set that up for you.
Thank you.
You're traumatized by this whole thing,
Absolutely.
and you are really angry about this whole thing.
Absolutely.
And I get that, and you need help with that, and I'm going to get you that help.
Thank you.
Because I've looked down the barrel of a shotgun, and it looks about that big around. And I understand that that doesn't go away very easily.
No, it does not.
I wouldn't expect it to.
I totally,
really?
no, talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. I get that. I really get that, and I want to get you help with that.
Thank you.
And I mean, really professional help. You deserve that, and I want you to have that.
Thank you.
When something like this happens, it happens to everybody. It didn't just happen to Dylan. It didn't just happen to them. It happened to y'all too. It disrupts your whole family. I want to get y'all a family counselor mediator that will sit down and work out a way where you guys can agree, just in this regard, this is what we're going to do concerning how we talk about this with the grandson.
Thank you.
And because I want nothing more than for him to clamber up in your lap and put his arms around your neck.
I miss him.
And it's not easy being a single mother, and I want to give you help and support with this. You know, you say you have a therapist now. If that therapist is significant and adequate for you, then fine. If you need other resources, then I'll make those available to you. I want to support this situation. You know, court is where you go to dispute.
Yes.
What I'm talking about is where you go to come together and love this little boy 360 degrees. You all love this little boy.
Of course, yeah.
Let that be a common ground that you share. That's all I'm saying. I want to thank all of my guests today. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. Tell us what you think on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time.